By gold, all good faith has been banished. By gold, all rights are abused. The lie itself is influenced by gold, and soon there will be an end to every modest restraint. These words were written by Latin poet Prosperitus in 45 BC. Obviously, not a lot changed since then. Good morning, my friends, from Bodie, California, a true ghost town and once a glorious mining town. So in northern part of California, about beautiful 13-mile road off the historic Highway 395, there's a hidden jewel that not too many people know about, a ghost town, Bodie, California. The last resident died or left Bodie in late 1940s, and strangely, the spirit of the live town still feels present, which makes it just so special. Maybe because it stands just as time and fire and people have left it. It is a California state park now, and it's very beloved and very well guarded. So in late 1850s, the mining started declining in western slopes of Sierra Nevada. So some people started crossing over to eastern slope, and a guy named Bodie discovered gold in this area, and of course he set up a mill. I believe he started in 1859, and the town just grew so fast. Within 20 years, they grew from 20 people to 20,000. Sadly, within the very first winter, from a huge snowstorm, Bodie ended up dying, and he ended up not living in a town that was named after him. And when we were driving here, it is right now late June, and it's still 48 degrees, and it's like 10 a.m. So I can imagine their winter can be very brutal, and it is very high altitude. The town of Bodie bustled with people from every country in the world and all walks of life. There are small and big business owners and miners and families, and also gunfighters and robbers and prostitutes. They seemed to have work hard, play hard mentality. They had 65 saloons and bordels and gambling halls here in Bodie. So I understand that life in pursuit of gold must have been really tough, and that's probably why all these people needed that outlet. At the same time, of course, the crime was huge. They are saying that even every morning when people would have breakfast, they would have there was a saying that, "Have we had a man for breakfast?" Meaning, did anyone get killed at night, overnight? And in Bodie, they have at least 200 burial sites that are still visible, and it must have been brutal way of life. During the late 1870s, the winters claimed hundreds of lives. From exposure and disease, the caskets of all sizes were made. Failing mines also claimed lives. Smaller companies went bankrupt, and people began to leave in search of better opportunities. And with just a couple of decades, Bodie's population has dropped from 20,000 to just 3. But it really is striking here specifically in Bodie that you feel the spirit of living town. There's a school with all its supplies and homework on a board. There are livable homes and church and a gas station. Everything is abandoned as if they just left. There's about 100 structures are still left in the town. Even though the town started already declining, but people kind of didn't feel like they were ready to leave, so they built 2 churches, and one is Methodist, one is Catholic, and one of them was burned down to the ground during one of the fires, and the other one is still standing. I think it was built in 1882. There were actually a few fires that battered Bodie. The last one was in 1932 when a 2-year-old kid was playing with matches, it destroyed 95% of the town. Only few people continued living in Bodie until after World War II. By then, only 6 people were left, and 5 of them soon died an untimely death. So I have a juicy story for you. So out of those 6 people, one man, he killed his wife. So then 3 other guys, they killed the murdering husband. Then these 3 guys were getting a ghost visits of the murdering husband that they killed, shaking his fists, and then eventually those 3 people died of untimely death and of strange diseases. And by the end of 1940s, Bodie was an officially ghost town. Okay, very important. I need to warn you of Bodie curse. So they're saying that you cannot take anything from this village, from this town, and because otherwise ghosts are going to be hunting you and you are not going to have one normal day of your life. And what they're saying is that in Bodie Museum they even keep the log of returned items because people would just not have peace until they would return the things. And of course some people are saying that it's just a park figured out a creative way to make sure that nobody destroys this town. But you decide what you want. I just don't want to take any chances. It's crazy to think how insane and how destructive the strike gold mentality is. And it technically comes from that period of time from California. People dreamed to strike gold. Imagine it. I understand it's so appealing because you think like, okay, I'm gonna just work hard for some period of time and then I'm gonna strike gold and I'm set for life. But how often does that really happen? In the end, people who came to serve them, opened restaurants, opened laundromats, opened stores, they're the ones who made the money, you know. But people who were working in the mines, it was tough. The life is volatile, and in the end, interesting what was actually driving them, and it's got to be that dream. And California is exactly that. Californians are dreamers. From Hollywood to Silicon Valley and everything in between, it's just a way of life. And if you think about it, it's not the healthiest way of life, but at the same time it's just so appealing. People fall hard and break their hearts and break their lives, but then the power of dream is so strong, they just get up and keep trying and trying. And at the same time, it's crazy life, it's destructive life, but what would we do without people like that? There would be no movies, there would be no iPhones, no internet, no nothing. And so we have to appreciate as crazy as it is. Well, this is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bodie is just such a special place. I thoroughly enjoyed it. All the links are in description below, and please, if you would like to support this channel, subscribe, like, comment. Any activities is great for YouTube to pick it up. And also follow me on Instagram. This is my handle. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video. Peace.